Welcome everyone back to Weekly Weather Updates, and this evening we'll have a look at the latest from the live radar. Then we'll go through the weather warnings. We do have an amber warning in force for heavy rainfall across northern England and southern Scotland, and then we'll go through the GFS, the GEM, the ECMWF and the GFS Ensembles, finishing up with the UK Met Office run as well. Now we have a lot of rain for some areas, and we'll have a look at that in a lot more detail in a minute. Beyond that, into early next week, the first few days of November, it does look like it's going to be going pretty cold, and we could even be seeing some winteriness in a few northern areas. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe, and remember to follow on Twitter as well. The link's in the description. So if we do have a look at the live radar, you can see the conveyor belt of moisture coming up from the southwest, basically in a straight line all the way up to southern Scotland and northern England. It's pretty much rained here for the last 24 to 48 hours pretty consistently, and you can see there is a lot more rain to come with this stationary sort of weather front moving in eventually over the next day or so. It is going to progress eastwards and sort of fragment up a little bit, so other areas will see some of this rain, but it does look like for the next 12 hours plus, though, we're still going to be seeing a lot of rain around. If we do go have a look at the last sort of 24-hour precipitation, now this is radar estimate, so it's not going to be the most accurate. However, you can see across southern Scotland and northwestern parts of England, we've seen 120, 140, if not higher, millimetres of rain, an immense amount of rain as well across Southern Ireland and generally across Scotland as well. But it's this sort of corner here of southern Scotland, southern Scotland and northern England that we've seen a lot of rain. You can see the gradient to almost zero rain in Yorkshire, and for other parts of the so-called northwest. So you can see it's very localised, but under there could be some very dangerous conditions, life-threatening conditions, with amber warnings put in force. So if we do have a look at the weather warnings, you can see we have wide yellow warnings within these regions across southern Scotland and northern England, and we have two amber warnings put in force. We have an amber warning across southern Scotland from 9 p.m. tonight until 9 a.m. tomorrow. Persistent and heavy rain is likely to bring flooding and transport disruption. A feed of heavy rain will become persistent across southern Scotland from later on Wednesday, lasting overnight well into Thursday. 60 to 80 millimetres quite widely, and maybe 100 millimetres or more in an 18-hour period. The heaviest rain will clear eastwards from mid-morning, so as you can see, that rain will eventually clear. If we have a look at the other amber warning, you can see persistent heavy rain leading to flooding and disruption from 3 p.m. today until midnight tomorrow, so more widespread, very likely, and high impact. We could even be seeing a red warning put in force for this. 100 to 150 millimetres is likely, with 200 to 250 millimetres in a few spots. And yeah, there could be some very significant rain, mainly across the west of the warning area for that really high totals. But could be some very dangerous conditions. So if you are in southern Scotland or northern England, really do be prepared for any flooding, and do keep an eye on the Environment Agency website as well, and they'll update on flooding over the next or over today, tomorrow, and downstream as well, because some areas may not see this really heavy rain, but downstream where this rain collects into the rivers, we could also see some very significant flooding over the next 24 to 48 hours or even beyond, as this water filters through all the rivers. So do keep an eye out for that. Friday, we still have a yellow warning across northern England, and we have a yellow warning across Wales. I'll look through those in yesterday's video. But once again, both the rain, spells of heavy rain, 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Friday for the Wales one, and then midnight tomorrow until midnight on Friday. Midnight tonight, really, until midnight on Friday for this warning across northern England. So very, very significant rain does look like there could be coming in some regions, and there could be danger to life at times. If we do now go through the GFS, have a look at the longer term outlook, you can see the conveyor belt moisture at the moment coming in from the southwest. Eventually the weather fronts will clear through and low pressure will take control of the whole of the UK by early next week, with northerly winds going quite chilly, with the -5 line getting towards Scotland. This latest GFS does go quite mild though in the longer term. As we head towards day 10, you see flat westerly winds High pressure is trying to push up from the south. It would be going a little bit warmer there. We haven't really been seeing this high pressure influence at all on the latest GFS runs, but it is here. In the longer run, though, we are starting to see amplification of the jet stream again. If we do go back to the pressure charts, you can see the amplification of the jet stream, and this will likely turn us a little bit colder from the northwest, but nowhere near as cold as we saw that bitterly easterly wind we saw in yesterday's run. So again, it all really does depend on what happens with the jet stream and any of this amplification in the jet stream. As we'll have a look at the ensembles towards the end of the video, there is a lot of uncertainty after the next sort of 7 to 10 days. Really nothing too much can be made of it as of yet, as there is a lot of scatter. If we do have a look at the GM run, so let's compare that to 10 days, you can see again, low pressure moving through, heavy rain for many over the next few days, and then we get that northerly wind. Beyond that, we stay sort of with this amplified jet stream. You see low pressure running in from the south. Now this isn't going really cold, but it is cooler than that GFS operational run, and with these lows a little bit all sliding lower down with the jet stream displaced a little bit southwards with the amplification, we could be seeing the heaviest rain maybe in the south with the centre of this low. Beyond that, do expect colder weather to come through at times, of course, flip-flopping between colder polar maritime air and warmer mid-Atlantic air, as ever when we have sort of this west to northwesterly sort of airflow. Again, keep an eye on this amplification of the jet stream with this high pressure out in the middle of the Atlantic, because if we did see the start to come towards Greenland, that is when we could be seeing northerly winds come in. Now, if we have a look at the ECMWF, we can only have a look at the midnight run at the moment, as the midday hasn't fully come out yet. You can see, again, low pressure in control, northerly winds. As we head to the uncertain time frame towards day 10, we go really westerly. Quite mild westerly as well initially, but you can see because the tropospheric polar vortex is displaced to our side, there's a lot more colder air towards Greenland, so it's actually pulling quite cold air out to the Atlantic. That's not going to really impact the UK. We may get some colder polar maritime air, but it's not really going to be causing too many issues, except really spinning up some of these lows potentially. With colder air mixing with moist air down in the mid-Atlantic, that's where we could be seeing some big low-pressure stormy weather potentially brewing. But again, you can see all three of these runs have very different things after sort of day 7. Just shows you the uncertainty there is in play at the moment. Now, if we do have a look at the GFS Ensembles for London, you can see at the moment quite warm upper air, but it is on a downwards trend all the way for the next week or so, down to around 4th, 5th of November, down to sort of -1, -2, -3, or maybe even below that at 850 HPA. A little bit bumpy on the way down, of course. We're seeing weather fronts push through. A lot of heavy rain over the Halloween weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's where we could be seeing some heavy rain, even in the southeast, which has been reasonably dry for the last few days. Beyond that, as we head into the colder air, you can see to the start of next week, towards sort of 3rd, 4th of November, so sort of, Tuesday, Wednesday time. Could be some more precipitation around. Again, uncertain as there are some big precipitation spikes, but not many. So again, all depends if this little small low pressure develops or feature. Very cold upper air though, a good 5+ degrees below average, if not a little bit more. And beyond that, we do slowly return to average towards the end of the run. Generally dry, which is symbolic of either high pressure building in, which I doubt it with the colder air mass, or we've got pretty dry air coming in from the north or the northeast, with showers only being confined to coastal areas and less coming inland. So that's probably the most likely scenario. And you can see there is a lot of scatter. You can see the GFS Operational Run was a milder outlier, but you can see there is a lot of scatter. So even with 3 operational runs generally showing something westerly from day 7, day 10, there is just so much uncertainty in play. We cannot really guarantee that those models are not at the ends of their ensembles. And you can see by the operation run, it is a big, mild outlier. So if we do have a look at Glasgow to see what we could be seeing further northwards, you can see generally warm at the moment, a good few degrees above average with a lot of precipitation around. Generally downward trend as well, down to around 4th of November, where a good -3, -4 degrees at 850 HPA, a good 5 degrees below average. Less precipitation, but still will be some showers coming in from the north, potentially a little bit wintry as well. Beyond that, you can see temperatures trying to return to average, but once again, a lot of scatter. Some going colder, some going really mild, like the operational run, but most have got a lot more precipitation pushing in. So That's thinking low pressure further to our north, which could be northerly winds, maybe, with the low sitting out in the North Sea with a lot of showers feeding in, or it could be more westerly winds. And that combined is giving these more higher precipitation spikes. But at the moment, as you can see with the temperature profile, the uncertainty is very big for early November. I do suspect, though, within November, we will potentially see something colder, though. What we've been seeing with the winter updates over the last few weeks is headed towards a colder start of winter. So November into December is going to be something we're really going to be keeping an eye on over the next few weeks. So we finally have a look at the UK Met Office run. You can see the conveyor belt of moisture pushing in at the moment. Very heavy rain for northern England and southern Scotland. Do stay safe out there if you are near these regions. Eventually, that rain will slowly push eastwards around lunchtime into the early afternoon tomorrow. Still a lot of heavy rain around, potentially for Wales as well through Friday, and generally for most of the British Isles before it eventually clears eastwards through Friday evening. Beyond that, overnight to Saturday, we see more heavy rain push in from the south. For many parts of England, it's spreading into Scotland at times, and then through Saturday evening into Sunday, more weather fronts push in through Sunday lunchtime with heavy rain, and then on the backside, we start to see northerly winds potentially starting to bring in. You can see the centre flow out in the North Sea, and those winds will be coming in for north, and I wouldn't be surprised potentially through Monday evening into Tuesday to start to see some wintry showers across Scotland once again. But it is still looking very showery, cloudy for elsewhere, so we still have a lot of showers and a lot of low pressure around for the first day of November. So if you do have a look at the max temperatures, you can see at the moment a reasonably mild day, 16, 17 degrees in a few spots. Tomorrow, again, it's going to be pretty mild, 16, 17 degrees, because of course we have that southwesterly wind where we're not seeing a lot of rain. Where it is dry, the upper airs, meaning the temperatures are going to be pretty mild. Through to Friday, you can see temperatures still a couple of degrees below maybe than when we saw Wednesday, Thursday, maybe 14, 15 degrees, but that's because we've got cooler air pushing in as those weather fronts progress eastwards. Beyond that, to Saturday, another cooler day, maybe 12, 13 degrees, maybe only 4 or 5 degrees across Scotland. And then into Sunday afternoon, only 12 or 13 in the south, maybe only 4 or 5 in the north as that colder air mass pushes in. And by Monday evening, you can see that colder air mass really start to come, only 7, 8, 9 degrees across the North Atlantic, and that will be giving much cooler temperatures across many parts by Monday evening into Tuesday. So some potentially life-threatening weather over the next day or so, so do keep an eye out on those warnings if you are anywhere near the amber or yellow warnings across northern England or southern Scotland. Apart from that, there will be rain around pretty much for all through Friday and Saturday, so do keep eyes peeled on that, and if there are any subsequent warnings put in force, it's going to be very difficult to forecast the exact range. As you can see by the UK Met Office run, it is just a wall of rain. Different areas could sort of pep up a little bit, so yeah, it's going to be really watching the live radar really. But by next week, it is going to be turning a little bit colder and potentially some wintry showers in the north. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.